This is a podcast looking at young people in the labour market. For a transcript, email info@ons.gov.uk. Young people we define here as those aged 16 to 24, and we will firstly show, by bringing up this graph, the unemployment rate since 1992, and also the unemployment proportion. We will explain what both means shortly. Here is the period of the recent recession, so we can see that both increased since before the start of it, and in January to March 2011, the unemployment rate was 20%, while the proportion was 12.8%. To illustrate what the rate and proportion are and why they differ, consider this example. Here are three groups: employed, inactive and unemployed, and here are 40 people. If we move these people into the three groups, we get 20 people employed, 16 people inactive, which means they are not looking or available for work, and 4 people unemployed. The unemployment rate is calculated by taking the total number of people who are unemployed and dividing it by the total number of people who are unemployed or employed, or a group known as the economically active population. This definition is agreed internationally as it shows the percentage of people who are unemployed in relation to the available workforce. The unemployment proportion is calculated by taking the total number of people who are unemployed and dividing it by the total population, which gives a picture of young people overall, as it also includes those who are economically inactive. So in this example, the rate is 4 divided by 24, which gives a rate of 16.7%, and the proportion is 4 divided by 40, which is 10%. Now consider the scenario where we keep the number of people who are unemployed the same, and also the population, which here is 40 people, but we see a fall in employment and an increase in inactivity, illustrated by 4 people moving groups here. So we now have 16 people employed, 20 inactive, and still 4 who are unemployed. So the rate now is 4 divided by 20, which gives us a rate of 20%, up from 16.7%, while the proportion remains the same, as 4 divided by 40 and 10%. So while the number of people unemployed remains the same, the unemployment rate has increased. And this is because the available workforce overall has actually decreased. So the percentage of people unemployed is higher in relation to the workforce. If we look at the percentage of young people in each of the three groups since 1992, starting firstly with those in employment, those inactive and those unemployed, we see that over the period the percentage employed has fallen, with it fairly flat though until around 2004 and then falling. The percentage inactive has risen, and the percentage unemployed is broadly the same now as it was in 1992. But it has fallen and increased over the period. This illustrates a situation to what we showed in the previous example, where unemployment is more or less the same. There has been a fall in employment and increases in inactivity. Focusing on the recent recession, we see a sharp fall in employment and increases in both inactivity and unemployment. If we return to our first graph, we see that before the start of the recent recession, the difference between the rate and the proportion was 4.6 percentage points. While in January to March 2011 it has increased to 7.2 percentage points. We can illustrate the difference between the two series on this graph here by plotting this line. Since 1992 the difference hovered around 4%, with it sometimes above and sometimes below. However, since the onset of the recent recession the gap increased quite sharply because of the sharp fall in employment and increases in inactivity, resulting in those unemployed being a larger percentage of the available workforce. The main driver of the increases in inactivity is young people who are going into education and not taking up any form of employment or even looking for work.